Hey, how's everyone doing? This is Jay, bringing you the second game here for the MLG Providence qualifiers. We got Epik versus Anguish. This is game 2 in the first round. So this is coming after that first game. I'm trying not to spoil, but let's just say it was pretty one-sided. So now we're going to go into this game here. And Epik's once again starting for the blue team, and we're going to have Anguish on the purple side. Epik decided to go this game with Graves, Riven, Soraka, Rammus, and Xerath, and then they're going up against a Gangplank, Udyr, Caitlyn, Sona, and Brand. So actually a really big different lineup. I mean, Riven Soraka definitely carry over, but the junglers are completely different. I mean, this is going to be pretty exciting to see how everything goes. I know for a fact that Graves probably was banned the first game, and instead Dan Din, who's usually I guess the ADK for Epik, picked up Vayne and just tore people apart, and they definitely dominated the lane. So now they're going to have Graves and Soraka, which is probably going to be just as devastating, to be honest. Pretty much unlimited mana. That's the beauty of Soraka. You're going to get that. Tons of mana, the heals, so he'll just have tons of sustain. And they're going to be up against that Sona, though. Sona and Caitlyn, which is also a pretty good harassment lane. Sona has some good, burst damage early on, the good heals, and so double sustain, not a bad idea. We'll see who comes out on top. Obviously, Westrice had a really strong jungle game last game, but he's actually going to be solo top instead of jungle with this Riven. So we're going to see how that plays out. Rammus is just there's not too much we want to say about him as a jungler. I mean, he has such a great ganking potential with his power ball. He can just come in really fast. You can't even react unless you burn your flash, and then the next time you gank, you're really screwed. That taunt lasts forever until you get some kind of CC reduction with like Merc Treads or whatever you decide to build. So really strong ganker compared to this Gangplank, who's definitely a fast jungler. That's kind of one of his advantages of being jungler. He clears it really fast. He gets those items, gets a lot of farm, I guess. But his ganks are decent, especially when he hits his 6. I mean, his ultimate's global. But I definitely would give the advantage to Rammus ganks over Gangplank. So anyways, let's get into the laning phase here. It's going to be Riven versus Udyr top, pretty evenly matched. I'll get back to all of them as I go through them. Xerath versus Brand in middle. I like the Brand skin. And then we got Graves Soraka versus the Caitlyn and Sona. And of course I looked down there and I missed the top, and I'm not going to say too many more times, but because this is the LoL third-party replay system, we actually can't see how much health he has or anything. I see him health potting, so I'm sure he wasn't super healthy when he got that kill. But he was running Exhaust Flash against Flash Teleport. So actually it's kind of switched up from last game. Last game, as I recall, Epik ran that Teleport on their top lane so they could have more map control. And I guess Anguish, this game side, they wanted to have that on their side. But, when you do run that teleport, you do lose that lane, some lane control in that sense. Like, for example, Riven with an Exhaust Flash can really, if they burn their summoners, he's going to have the advantage, obviously, with that exhaust. And he's going to TP to base now, pick up something probably. Down here, meanwhile, let's see here. We got Caitlyn at 17 and Graves at 17. So, yeah, so it's dead even. So I kind of expected that with this, double sustain lane. They can both be kind of aggressive and still survive. Great burst potential if they're already at level 3. You can see how much damage he can do to a Caitlyn, so that's pretty impressive. Looks like Rammus is looking to counter jungle. He sees Gangplank, but nothing's going to come of it. Actually, it's a pretty early ward down here by the Soraka. I guess Gangplank can be known to gank at her level, especially if he gets that red buff, because that works on his parlay. So it's pretty powerful. Rammus trying to just harass, I guess. Can't really gank middle or top because they're so pushed up. So that's not going to be very helpful right now. And, it's nice to have farm on Rammus, but I think his main purpose when you jungle with him is to tank and to get those really nice ganks in the laning phase. But if you keep the lane so pushed, as is top and middle, you know, he's not really going to be that worth it. And actually, nice Caitlyn trap right there to grant vision on him so they know where he is at all times. And also bottom lane's push. So Rammus, all he can really do is try the counter jungle at this point, since he has nowhere to gank. Let's check out the CSs. I would assume Riven's up by a good amount because he got that first blood. He's got 30 to 24. It's actually pretty close. Xerath's at 29 versus 23 brands. Actually, all the lanes are really, really close. Minor advantages, of course, to Epik, but nothing substantial in the slightest. So, alright, finally, Riven's decided level 6. Okay, I'm going to go by now. I also want to point out, and you know, I like to give tips throughout the games. If you had that advantage and you didn't go back right after you got that kill, that first blood like he did, you want to try to lose out on as little experience as possible. So what he did there, he just pushed the lane, got all the creep kills, and when it got to the tower, which is hard for Udyr or any hero to generally, it's a lot harder to last hit in your tower, so that's kind of nice. They might miss some creep score. But then also, by the time you get back into your lane, you have missed only a few kills, maybe, if that. So that's always a good idea. And he actually came back now with already a brutalizer. So good cooldown reduction. That's a strong way to build Riven. Since he doesn't use a resource, it's just cooldown based on his moves. You know, cooldown reduction is really strong on him. Meanwhile, looks like no one's bought bottom yet. It's still, you know, even with their starter items. Rammus bought a Philistone, actually. So he's going gold for 10, but he wants the mana regen. That probably, to me, that's saying that he's definitely giving the next blue to Xerath, because he's not going to need it anymore to do his jungling. So, interesting play there. Normally, I would expect a Heart of Gold on Rammus. You know, get more tanky right away, even maybe tank the tower, like especially when you hit 6. Pop that ulti, taunt, you know, good initiation, but so be it. Xerath's return, landed his stun, landed a couple spells, doing some good damage. Riven looks like he's already putting a ward all the way by his red room, and they can see that's up, so they're probably going to look for a gangplank to start that and then come in and gank it. That would be my assumption. You can see Rammus coming the very long way to try to gank possibly bottom. That tower's already at like half health, so very good presence in pushing bottom. And actually Graves finally does teleport back, getting Zerker Greaves another Doran's Blade, a ward, and some health pots. So going to be pretty strong. Get ready to burn that down bottom. Here comes Riven to set up a nice gank here on Udyr, just doing some damage, you know, some harassment. Udyr actually went a Philistone too. A couple Philistones this game already. It's interesting. Meanwhile, Xerath is getting more Doran's rings, as it does Brand, so that early health boost in case you get ganked. There really has been no ganks from either side, and this is actually what I was talking about here. Gangplank starting his red, Riven pops her ulti, comes in, doesn't get the red in time, but just, oh, Gangplank must have been really low, because that was a great job there, knowing to put that ward there and come as soon as Gangplank came in. And the great thing about Riven's ultimate is, you know, it does more damage as you're missing health. So it's this nice conal burst damage that she can follow up with, and it's just, you can see, as you saw right there, very powerful. And now she's got that red buff, and actually this is really a smart play by Epik here. They just killed their jungler, and I just missed the top kill, so now she's going to get a tower and a dragon kill. Very, very strong start here now for Epik. Yeah, since they killed Gangplank, who's their jungler and has that smite, they felt really safe and secure to take out this dragon. And of course now there's another kill middle. Xerath takes down Brand. So it's 4-0, just took dragon, and it looks like actually Riven backed off from that top. I thought she would push it, but they feel like, I guess he'd rather have a BF sword. Wow. So he's going straight, probably for that Bloodthirster like he did last game. Just up that damage, get through Udyr. And Udyr does actually have Ninja Tab. I expected that. That's a pretty common build, especially against, you know, a bunch of auto attackers. So, you know, makes a lot of sense there. Soraka doesn't have that fill yet. Probably could afford it, but, you know, choosing to keep sustaining on this Graves. Let's go back to the CS now. Graves at 76 CS to 55. Much bigger advantage. Actually, you can see this burst damage now. Forcing Sona to flash. That's just, you know, this is, I'm not going to say Graves OP, nothing like that, but very strong laning presence, as you can tell. You know, that Kono shot right there, just so much damage already. He only has the 2 Doran's blades, so it scales decently well with his attack damage. So, you know, when you put up an infinite mana, you know, Graves that can just spam that and keep you out of the lane. Of course, now I missed another kill, and Nudie should have a rough time. And here comes Gangplank, and, you know, they'd want the ganks since Riven's been pushing all day, but what can Gangplank really do? You know, he's underfarmed. He only has that, you know, Magic Razor versus a red buff BF Sword Brutalizer Riven. I mean, you're just asking for some pain. Meanwhile, oh gosh, I should never look away from top at this point. That's what I'm starting to think. I have missed all the kills, guys. You probably don't like me right now. I'm trying my best, though. They're all over the place. You know, and if I look in one lane, here's another kill in another lane. And just showing how much damage they're putting out. And this early in the game, it's 11 minutes in. And like I said, Graves doesn't have any items, but he doesn't need them. Because he just does so much damage, especially with that ultimate. It does already 300 damage to the initial target and 180 to the rest. Xerath comes in for the gank from the side and gets a kill. That was a beautiful setup there. They had no idea Xerath was coming from the side, and he just, with that super far artillery range, you know, just sniped down that Caitlyn. So, Epik just in a dominating position right now. Riven looks like he's getting chased down here a little bit, but nothing he can't handle. That's what we've seen so far in this game. But I just want to point out that they've had such wonderful lane control. And also vision. Oh wow, actually Brand going in here on Xerath. Xerath's not afraid no ghost though. He comes back in. Rammus gets a nice little taunt on Brand. Nothing he can't handle though. Comes back in. He's got only one hit. He needs to be careful. So is Xerath. They're both playing with fire, so to speak. Didn't even mean the pun. And so this fight breaks out. Xerath really needs to get back. And here comes a flash. Soraka ult actually, and that's going to just save Xerath. And he comes back now, drops his ults, doesn't do enough. Xerath, whew, he is living on the edge. Even with Soraka here, keeping the heals up, and that's why he's staying to stay around. You can see how much this Soraka healing is just so crucial to them keeping this push up. They get a nice tower kill. Here continues the chase. It's not going to lead to any kills though. Everyone's around half health, except for, of course, like the Soraka. Actually, Xerath does manage to pick off Gangplank at the end there. He did run out of that blue buff though, so he's going to run out of mana soon. Riven takes top tower now. I can't even imagine how much that gold advantage is at this point. I mean, they're 9 kills ahead. You know, they got the first 3 outer towers and a dragon. So, you know, already in just a great position. And they're actually looking to push the second tower. Lands the stun, drops the ultimate again, and you can see already how much damage they can put out. BF Sword actually on Graves now, which is probably why he's hitting so hard at this stage. Riven uses his flash, goes in, hits all 3 for their ultimate, and gets them all to half health. They are, you know, there's not much they can do at this point. They have to kind of turtle, and Baron hasn't even spawned yet. So, I mean, that's just how well Epic's doing. They push now a second tower. This is the first inner tower, I guess I would call it. Graves going to go back, take all this nice, delicious farm. I'm sure that tasted good. He's up to 115 CS, Riven at 112, and Xerath at 110. Versus, you know, 56 on that jungle, which is a little more than the Rammus jungle, but Rammus has obviously played a crucial part in, you know, taunting and harassing. Although he's 0 assists, I say that. He doesn't look like he's done anything this game, but, you know, he's counter jungled a little bit. He's been annoying, so he's done his role. But obviously, you know, Riven's dominated his lane. Graves, you know, they just really have taken over. And it looks like they're going to try to steal this blue here. This is 4 of them for Anguish, and they're scared. And it's only 3 of them over here. A Rammus, a Xerath, you know, and a Soraka, but it's enough. And he's trying to finish off Brand, misses that last Q, so he's not going to get the kill. But it looks like they might be able to steal this blue still. Here comes Graves. Once Graves comes in here, I mean, this is going to be, you know, easy pickings for Epik, needs to say. He lands the you know, the spell that, I'm sorry, I don't know the name offhand, but it allows you to stun on the next cast hit. If he could just get a taunt here, I mean, this would really, they'd be able to kill whoever they want, let's be honest. They're going to start the blue. Riven's still pushing top meanwhile. He looks like, yep, he's going to take another tower, so that's another inner tower. And, you know, Anguish still hasn't taken one. I mean, the dragon's up. I'm going to have to imagine after this blue, they're going to go right for that dragon. And they have no reason not to. There's 2 top. Gangplank, you know, scared out of his mind. Only has a Wriggles at this point. And there's the ton of Brand, actually. Gangplank ults to try to save him. The flash by Brand drops the ulti, and it's actually bounced around the neutrals, so it does a little bit of damage, but not nearly enough to obviously get a kill. And that's just a testament to his farm. 3 Doran's rings and boots. I mean, he's probably only got like 50 AP at this point, and that's not going to be enough to do anything. Xerath sticking around behind enemy lines. Here comes Graves. Look at that burst damage. Unbelievable. Ear dude flashes, and what a bait. He's got almost a, you know, Rabadon's death cap. And this Graves damage is so strong. And this is probably why he's banned so much. I mean, you saw those 3 champions come in that conal, which is not a good idea against these double AoEers, obviously. But, you know, that Graves ultimate hits that first target. And by the way, they're going to take this dragon. Hits that first target, does a ton of damage. His right now is hitting for about 530 or so. Riven actually takes the top inner base tower. It's 14-0, 2 dragons. You know, Anguish is probably packing it up at this point. Like, not sure what they can even do. I mean, they obviously need to go as 5, but you saw them try to go 3 versus 1 against Xerath, and then here came Graves and cleaned up all of them. So there's very little they can do. They need to pick off, you know, someone that's really out of position like that Xerath was. They need to take full advantage of that. Riven goes right in. You can see, oh, just ridiculous amounts of damage coming out from these 2. Xerath has his blue rune again, so he can just spam away all day. Caitlyn looks like he's trying to bait up this Riven. Look at that mobility. He's able to just do so much damage. Flashes in, finishes off the Caitlyn kill. Maybe trying to go away, but nice taunt there by Rammus. And Xerath looks like he's going to try to clean up here, and they've been going past the creeps, and it looks like they're going to fall back. So, good job there. And here comes Graves, misses his ultimate skill shot. I'm sure he's laughing about that one. Not a very good one, but Xerath's still doing a ton of damage, keeping them back. And there goes the middle in hit, a middle tower and middle in hit now. Graves just plowing away at the creeps, you know, spamming that Q. No problem, because Soraka just feeds your man all day, with an Oracles, by the way. Just in case there's a ward somewhere in the world. And there goes another kill on Caitlyn. I mean, how much more can you say about this game? It's been so one-sided, much more even one-sided than the first game. This is just brutal. I mean, oh, here comes a taunt. Huge burst damage. Westroy's coming in on that Riven. Kills 2 of them, but they have to back off, kill creeps now. To clean the waves, they're just going to probably push for the win here, and they have no reason not to. I mean, their items are so much better than Anguish's. They catch Udyr. He's gone. Sona, I'm not sure what she's going to do. Caitlyn tries to ult Xerath. That doesn't really help you much, though. They keep auto-attacking the tower, last tower, before they can hit the Nexus. And yes, they finish off the tower. And look at that damn Gangplank. Just gone. 16 gold assists. Nuts nothing. Brand's gone. They're trying to take out this Rammus. He's still going. Thanks to that Philostone. You're welcome. Wow. Riven diving onto the base. Almost gets 2-shotted by the laser that pew-pews from the back. And sure enough, we are going to see the end of the game. So, wow, what a strong game for Epik there. Really played well as a team, honestly. Even Rammus couldn't get in for the ganks. They just dominated each of their lanes so hard that there was nothing really they could do. And, you know, the reason they were allowed, I guess, or they allowed themselves to be able to be that aggressive and get away with it, because normally if you're that aggressive, then their jungler is going to make you pay for it and come in with like a red buff or something. But they had vision like everywhere. And I think that game really started to snowball after Riven placed that ward right, you know, in that red buff brush. And when he ganked Gangplank and got that red buff, I mean, it just went completely down here. Udyr had nothing he could do about that. You know, you're fighting this Riven, level 6, with a red buff, who's been winning the lane already. I mean, you know, it's pretty much over at that point. So, anyways, great job by Epik. They move on to round 2. Sorry, Anguish boys, maybe next year. And thanks for tuning in. As always, keep tuned for broadcasts. We'll be giving you more games. So, yeah, stick around.